I thought you were talking to yourself the whole time.
There we go. We are live here on YouTube. Hopefully everything is good. It has been a long time. This is actually the very first stream on the Celtics Corner channel. And I will also post on our actual Beast Move channel and maybe yours about that. We are live. Everyone, thanks for joining us. I want to make sure I get this number right. Episode 12, I believe. Episode 12 of Trust the Podcast. Hopefully that number's correct. I am back, your boy B Smooth, your boy Jax, the richest in the building. How you feeling, man?
Man, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, how's everyone doing? I know it's been a while, a couple of weeks. Before we even get started, Bobby, what was it, 2 weeks ago you said Celtics Corner we started?
We started Celtics Corner, and it was 2 weeks ago Tuesday, yes.
So you're talking just over 2 weeks, guys, and we've already cleared 200 plus subscribers at 214 right now, going strong.
Wow.
It's beyond humbling, guys. Just to give you an idea, I've been doing my channel several months, and we beat where I'm currently at. So for that, that's a big deal for me. I take a lot of pride in that. Me and Bobby put a lot into this, and it's humbling, it's exciting, and we are very, very thankful. So beyond behalf of me, Celtics Corner, I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't even realize when he hit me up saying that we're almost at 200. I thought he was lying, but I checked. I was like, all right, never mind. I appreciate that. I really appreciate the love and support. Keep on subscribing. A lot of these clips you're going to see in this video will be probably posted later in the week. We're going to try to start doing that. Also a TikTok page. You'll see if that hops down as well. But last time we were here, I can't remember what we were doing.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time. A lot of games have passed. Jax, can you run us through the last basically probably 2.5 weeks since last time we had an episode?
I would be absolutely honored, Bobby. So the last episode was January 14th. So yeah, January 14th, guys. And that was the episode we actually had. It's Sim, right? Mr.
Sim,
Simmons?
yes, Nothing But Knicks.
So,
yeah.
Yep. So we had Sim from Nothing But Knicks. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, guys, you're slacking because that's a powerhouse they've got over there in the Knicks community. Nothing But Knicks. Appreciate you, Sim. Thank you so much. So having him on, and we pretty much picked his brain because it just coincidentally was the day after the Cam Reddish trade to the Knicks. So we kind of talked about Cam. Then obviously we talked about Kemba, Evan Fournier. He kind of gave his overall opinion on his team's direction. He mentioned, Jaylen Brunson as one of their targets. Obviously, we had to touch bases about Zion Williamson, being that they have both RJ and Cam. Yep. And then after that, when Sim hopped off, we actually spoke about Klay Thompson, being that it was his return, just kind of showing him some love. And then I know you probably forgot this, Bobby, but that episode concluded with me and you giving our top 10 current players list.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's true. I remember that.
And that was pretty much it, man. After we gave that list, we spent about 15 minutes with the chat, answering questions. They were actually really involved in that episode. It was pretty cool.
Okay, hopefully we can get the same. We'll see what's going on. We'll try to grow this as well. I guess let's start off with how the Celtics have been playing so far this season. Not this season, the last 2 weeks. This whole March, end of January run, they played pretty well. I'll give it to them. Celtics basketball has always been interesting. And again, I've always said this. Since I've stepped away from talking Celtics every single day, I've actually enjoyed watching their games more often. I don't know if that's a way of life or maybe that's how it is, but step away and look back and just try to enjoy the game. They're pretty enjoyable. Now, again, they make you claw your eyes out and they make you cry and make you scream, but they have been playing pretty damn well basketball. Can you talk about the 6-game stretch a little bit?
Yep.
Who we played, who we've lost to, who we beat?
Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. So right now, currently, we are sitting at the 9th seed, 28 wins, 25 losses. And forgive me, guys, I wish I knew it all off the top, but I will periodically look at my notes. But during this 6-game stretch that Bobby's talking about, we have actually won 5 out of the last 6, including 3 straight. If you want to get deeper, 7 out of the last 10. How about 10 out of the last 14? Now, currently, and Bobby, I forgot which video, but you might remember you asked a question not too long ago. You said, how many games above 500 have the Celtics been this year? What is the highest? You remember that, right? Well, the answer is 3. They are currently 3 games above 500 for the first time all season. But anyways, that 3-game winning streak, by the way, tied for the longest active winning streak in the East with the Toronto Raptors at 3. A lot of losing going on right now. But During that 6 games, guys, we started it off with the Wizards, where we would win 116-87. That was Jason Tatum in the 51 point. Bobby dropped a banger going over that highlight. Go check that out if you haven't. We followed that up with a Kings win, 128-75. So we had Tatum with 51. Then we followed it up with a 50-point win. That game, both the Jays had 30 or more points combined, or individually, both had 30 points or more. After that, Bobby can tell you better than me because he was live at the Atlanta Hawks loss, 108-92.
Oh, yeah, man.
Now, Atlanta had won 5 straight coming into that game. They beat us, that's 6 straight, and they haven't stopped, guys. That team is about as hot as anyone right now. So after that, we came back with a New Orleans win, 107-97. Now, again, both Jays with 30 or more points. And then not finally, we followed that up with a Miami win, 122-97, beating the Miami Heat, who was the first seeded in the East at the time by 30-plus points, making it 2-0 against them on the year. No Jimmy Butler, no Kyle Lowry, no PJ Tucker, but they are healthy, and actually they just got their first win after losing 3 straight. And then we followed it up with a huge, very impressive win against the Charlotte Hornets, 113-107, putting the Celtics, like I said, 3 games above 500 for the first time this season, with the Detroit Pistons coming up tonight.
Now, the Pistons game, no one's excited for that. Shout out to Cade, shout out to Isaiah Stewart, but no one's excited to watch the Pistons play. Let me talk about one of those games in particular, that Hawks game. Again, if y'all don't know, I live in the ATL, went down to the game, me and my boy, it was his birthday. It was a fun time celebrating. Shout out to SeatGeek who let us go there. We didn't even pay much. I didn't pay like $10 or something like that. It was really cheap. Shout out to SeatGeek. However, when we were in the building, I just felt the energy was off. I just felt something was going to be bad. And the Celtics, for some reason, they always like coming out slow, down 15 points to start the game. And the next thing you know, we fight back. And then Celtics basketball continues. We lose by 18 points and ball game's over. But Jags did say it. Man, I saw the Hawks be up on the Suns a couple days ago.
Yeah,
whoop them out. Trae dropping 40 points. He deserved his All-Star starting vote. I give it to him. And we're going to touch on the All-Star people later. But so far in this stretch, Celtics have played solid basketball. Someone said in the chat, and I 100% agree, Marcus Smart, I'm not going to say I hated him. I've always was on the negative side. Half glass, half empty glass, whatever the hell the saying is. I've always been on that side with Marcus Smart. I've never enjoyed watching him play. I always thought he was frustrating to watch. He has been, I think, a godsend would be a great way to compare him. He has been phenomenal. Defense has always been elite. Playmaking's been solid. He's hitting his shots a little bit, getting to the rim, going to the free throw line. The whole team as a whole has been playing well.
Yes,
I think it's fair to say in the last 3 weeks, maybe, you said 7 out of 10, I'll hit last 3 weeks, probably the best basketball they played all season. I think that's fair to say.
Without question, Bobby.
I think for us as a team, again, we haven't played the most top of competition. Again, we mentioned Miami Heat. They didn't have 3 of their 5 best players. It's tough to compare those wins. But man, the NBA and the NFL, a win is a win. I don't give a damn. You can beat a 5th-string quarterback. You can beat a team with G Leaguers on the floor. I do not care. A win is a win, especially when the East is so top-heavy with all these great talent. Someone told me last night that if Celtics win a couple of games and some team slips a couple of games, we're the 5th seed. Just like that in the East. It is so compact up there. But what is your take on these couple of games? What did you feel? What was the most pivotal game you thought?
Yeah, man. So just to kind of elaborate on the 6 games, and in case anyone doesn't know, let me just tell you, Bobby is so right about it possibly. I don't even think I think it's fair not even to say possibly. I agree with him. It is the best stretch all season.
Yeah.
Now, remember, guys, before this stretch started, it was the Portland loss, which was one of the worst losses of the season. That was the game that concluded with Jason Tatum currently being on an 20 consecutive misses from 3. So since then, since that Portland game, that has been the 6-game streak we're currently on. Since that 20 straight misses, Jason Tatum has shot 63 total threes. He's made 26 of them at 42%. Damn. He's averaged 30 points, 8 rebounds, 6.5 assists during this 6-game stretch. What about Jaylen Brown, you might ask? Well, he's averaged 25 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3 assists. You mentioned Marcus Smart. Well, since returning, he actually returned at the start of this 6th game coming into the Wizards game. He actually has been averaging 12 points, 7 assists throughout. And as you said, his defense, next level. His shooting splits and percentages, excellent. His pace, the ball movement, light, less ISO since returning. And then, of course, Rob Williams, Bobby. A lot of people have been high on him. He's been averaging 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2.5 blocks throughout this stretch, man. So everyone's been dialed in.
Been
Josh
playing well.
Richardson, 4 out of the 6 games, he's had double-digit points off of the bench, man. Everyone is very dialed in, and it's our man John Corrales. Shout out to you, John. He said it seems like while everyone else is kind of checking in a little early, getting ready for All-Star break, it seems like the Celtics have turned up the intensity a notch, trying to make up a little bit of ground because they were slipping, and 5 out of the last 6 kind of does seem that way. So, I mean, we'll see, because even though we have the Pistons and Magic coming up, like after that, Bobby, you're talking about like the Nets, and there's some heavy hitters, the Sixers, there's some big boys coming up after those 2 easy ones.
So what John said is interesting, because it's obviously true, but it's also a sad statement that why it's true. The reason other teams packed it in early because they stocked up on wins early. They can rest guys now. You're seeing players rest players like Miami was doing, and hey, you have a little knack. All right, cool. Take a game off. Who cares? LeBron James doing rehab already. He's still gonna play in the All-Star game, I guarantee you. So all these guys are taking the early rest. Okay, to be fair, Lakers are not winning, but other than that, most of the teams are winning their games, so they can rest. Now, are the Celtics taking advantage of it because other teams are resting? Sure. We're having an easier stretch. We mentioned this late in December. We went through the gauntlet then, but then the season gets a lot easier from we're taking advantage of that. So that's credit to the team winning. Have y'all ever felt this way, though? When the Celtics start winning games, I'm talking about this season, in history, the last 5 years I've been really close and paying attention to this team, you get on a hot win streak, and next thing you know, something happens. Whether it's a random rumor that happens in the trade wire, or a player gets injured, or someone asks and demands for more touches in the game, something happens with a team, the armor gets cracked. And guess what? There's no way it wouldn't have happened to the Celtics, because Jags, I heard of a story that you actually told me about Jaylen Brown potentially, was it wanting a trade or getting trade? Someone break this trade down for me.
Oh, man. So where to even begin, Bobby? So first off, it was Steve Bulpett who reported it. Now, for people that don't know who that is somebody that is working for Heavy.com currently, but he is very intertwined and very connected in the Boston media. He actually, I don't want to misquote, but it was like Boston Globe or Sports Journal. It was one of those he worked for a long time. It's not James, Jags to riches saying that Jaylen wants out. It's a credible source that talks to people that are hearing something. You know what I mean? It didn't just come out of anywhere. So basically the quote was, and I'll paraphrase, it was something along the lines of, Jaylen Brown did not ask out himself. Jaylen Brown does not want to trade. Jaylen Brown does not want out. He emphasized that, Bobby. But what he did say, and I believe the exact wording was, if things continue to falter, Jaylen Brown may potentially look to, divorce the Celtics this offseason. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. Like, what do you mean by falter? And we've kind of just went over the recent winning. So 10 out of the last 14 games, I mean, is that, what do you mean? Because it continued to falter. They're actually going upwards right now. So I don't think it wasn't pulled out of thin air. But at the same time, it's like, is this just something that has been told to 3 people and now it's just being misquoted? Or is it something where, there is some truth to it? And if there is truth, I mean, I was just talking to somebody in the comments earlier. Shout out to you, Mitch. He made a great point. 2 years is not that long before, it will be extension time for JB, and I mean, so they are running out of time, and now we're starting to hear rumblings of him wanting out. So now you're talking about maybe 1 more year before it'd be that actual thought of needing to get rid of him. But I don't know, Bobby. I don't know if it's smoke or if there's fire. What are your thoughts?
I've always believed that if there's smoke, there's fire somewhere. But let me give you my thoughts on this thing. I doubt Jaylen Brown requested, or maybe his agent maybe requested, or whatever's going on here. I don't buy too much into it. Number one, Jaylen Brown's outspoken. He would have said something himself. Yeah. And unless it comes from the horse's mouth, I don't believe anything, especially when it comes with Jaylen Brown.
It was
a
competitor.
It was a competitor, an opposing GM. Teams all the time try to leak things that probably have the slightest rumor of being true. However, Danny Ainge himself wanted to trade for players. We heard the stuff about Marcus Smart being traded, or Josh Richardson. We'll see. Trade deadline's on the way. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, next week.
But I'll buy it when I see it. Jaylen Brown, I believe, and again, we've always talked about this too, who gets traded first, Brown or Tatum? I think Brad Stevens would rather cut his arm off than trade one of those 2 guys. I have seen it from start to finish. So Jaylen Brown gets traded, no chance, no way, no how.
I
No
said it,
shot.
Bobby. I told in the video I made, I dropped on Celtics Corner about does Jaylen win out. I said, guys, we're like several steps away from that happening. You
Yes.
still got Marcus Smart here. You listen, this upcoming offseason, they're going to break some things down, make some changes, and then you still would have to go through a Marcus Smart trade. Like there is several steps before they would ever consider that. That would be like the trade deadline of his final year of the contract. Like he's about to leave, he's not committing to re-sign, and it's about to be the trade deadline. That is when you'll see that. Otherwise, I mean, guys, you forget that the Celtics are in a very interesting situation. Our core four, and I'll be very quick here, Bobby, but our core four has been getting complimented a lot with the Jays, obviously Marcus Smart and Rob Williams all playing very well recently, right? Okay. Well, people don't forget that we're only a year away from one of our biggest contracts in Al Horford coming off the books. Now think of $27 million and where that money can then go. Like the players, he makes more than Jaylen Brown. He makes the same as like Donovan Mitchell. And I mean, those are the caliber players that make that same salary. So in another season, when they have that money off the books, who knows who's going to want to join the Jays? And it's going to be a very valuable player, God willing, knock on wood. And then I mean, I would say pump the brakes. Let's not overreact. You know, there's no way, no how, like Bobby said, Jaylen Brown's leaving the Celtics anytime soon.
Now, while I agree, there will be someone leaving the Celtics. I think trades are going to be happening very, very shortly. Not just Celtics, other teams in general. Mm-hmm. I see Lakers making a lot of moves, Knicks making a lot of moves. But when it comes in terms of the Celtics, I've heard a lot of rumblings of Marcus Smart. I don't know if you saw those. I know we didn't stream for 2 weeks. I heard rumors that Marcus Smart was going to Utah. That's all I heard for a couple of days straight. Then Dennis Schroeder, again, is literally on a rental deal. It would make 100% sense to trade him somewhere.
He'll be gone. Yeah.
So I've heard Josh Richardson could get traded as well, even though he said he likes the team. He could get traded. So who was the player I guess you would most likely want to see traded? Or, I mean, least likely to get traded?
Good question, Bobby. I'm not even prepared for that one. I would honestly probably say, just like you said, situations, it calls for Dennis Schroeder. 5.9, he's leaving after this year. It's pretty much, you know, all but done. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of getting whatever you can for him at this point. And it's funny because, I mean, me and you, we got deep into trades, guys. Go through me and Bobby's Trust the Podcast timeline. Me and him attacked pretty much any and every trade you could think of. So I know we talked about Schroeder to the Cavs. And now that's starting to circulate again that they might be interested in him because Rondo hasn't quite been. So I don't know, maybe a Cedi Osman or someone like that. But if I could send out anyone, Bobby, like a perfect trade, it would be sending out Schroeder and Al Horford in a package and like getting back like, I don't know, Harrison Barnes and, you know, someone like that. That would be perfect. If I could get off of, you know, both obviously Schroeder and Al and get back, you know, a certain player, because don't forget we still have that 17 million TPE. I recently started hearing people talk about Spencer Dinwiddie, like that they might want to look to Bobby. If you haven't heard that, they're talking about Dinwiddie for Schroeder straight up, because even though the money doesn't work, there's reports, bro, put it in Google on that all the players in Washington want Dinwiddie out. They're not happy with him. Dinwiddie himself said he tried to step up and voice, you know, be a leader, and it wasn't well received. So they're talking about trying to get him out ASAP, and his contract fits perfectly into the Fournier TPE. You send Schroeder there because they get to try him out. If it doesn't work, he can walk away. If it does work, they have the money to extend him. And you give, you know, Spencer to Boston on a newly signed contract. I kind of like that too. I'm with you. I see you speculating on it. I kind of like it.
If the Celtics could get Spencer Dinwiddie, that changes my whole outlook. Hold on now. Hold on. Because you want to talk about a true scorer. He doesn't have to start. Come off the bench. Be the sixth man that you need to be. That's a damn good team. Now,
and he was awesome as a six. Remember his height in Brooklyn when he was D'Angelo Russell's back up.
Yeah, it would work 100% perfect. He's a bigger guard. It would be 100% perfect if you could do that move. Do the Wizards do that? I don't know if they would do that. I don't feel for Wizards. Well, I don't know if that would make sense unless you just want to make the locker room happy. I guess that's what would be the resolution. I know they started the season high. They kind of fell off ever since. But Montrezl Harrell's will obviously work. Bradley Beal's been in and out the lineup. Man, I would kind of like Spencer Dinwiddie on
Montrez
the
is on
Celtics,
the
man.
trade block as well. In that same article, they cited Montrezl Harrell as another one that could potentially be stacked. So, I mean, you want to talk perfect world? How about a Montrezl Harrell, Spencer Dinwiddie for Al Horford and Dennis Schroeder? That would literally make me do a cartwheel. Like,
what the hell is going on with the Wizards? I'm guessing it sounds like they're tanking, but at the same time, if you bring back Dennis Schroeder and Al Horford, you're not tanking. You're, if anything, you're staying the same. Or I don't know what's going on.
Think of it like this, Bobby. I think you hit it, perfectly. You said they came out hot. They were, bro. I reminded people because the other day when we spanked them and JT dropped 50 on them, I was like, guys, you don't remember they gassed us twice to start the year, and they were like the 3rd or 4th seed, like some of our early podcasts, bro. But so you have to remember. What do they got? They've got Bradley Beal on a contract year. So if there's now all of a sudden the 10th or 11th seed and they were the 3rd or 4th, they've got to make some in-season trade moves right now to try to retain Bradley Beal, because if not, they're going to lose him. So obviously no one's happy with Spencer Dinwiddie. Bradley's not happy with Spencer Dinwiddie. Let's try to shake it up and bring somebody else in. They've got to try to do something or they're going to lose Bradley Beal. So
you don't want that happening. Obviously, same thing with us. You want to play well. I think the report you're reading, I actually checked it out a little bit on the side. The Celtics need to play better for Jaylen Brown to want to stay. Well, that's pretty much any player on any team. So it's not really, specific for just JB. Any player on any team wants to be competitive.
Yep.
Unless you're, Kevin Porter Jr. buying grills on the sideline. That's wild. I don't know if y'all seen that clip. Google Kevin Porter Jr. on the sideline, and he was doing some wild stuff.
Wait, what did he do?
Kevin Porter Jr., guard for the Houston Rockets, went and had the guy who makes grills in Houston, famous guy who makes grills for your teeth. He started actually typing his phone number. I believe that was him. Typing in his phone number and actually ordering a grill in the middle of a game on a timeout.
Bro.
Hey,
Kevin Porter's so wild, bro. He's Kevin the same one that left the game in the middle of the game.
Oh, yeah, because he was fighting with homeboy. Yeah.
He's always been wild ever since college.
He's been wild. He's a funny-ass dude. But, man, oh, man, you got to have some giant ones to do that in the middle of a game and not give a damn what the coach or what the media says, because there's obviously people recording. That is the craziest thing in the world.
Let's send him and Christian Wood on over to Boston. We'll take him.
I'll take Christian Wood. I guess for me
and me some Wood.
We can wrap up because I don't know when the trade deadline is. I believe it's like the 14th or 15th. It's somewhere around that All-Star, maybe after All-Star break.
I'm pretty sure it's the 10th, bro. I'm pretty sure it's this. Yeah, it's this upcoming week.
Damn, we might have to have a little podcast special on the trade deadline day. That might be
Thursday, bro. The trade deadline's this upcoming Thursday.
Oh, that's what it is. I thought so I think a couple years ago they switched to it's before All-Star break, not after. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, cool.
On that real quick, because I got it right here in front of me. So we have 7 games left. Like I said, we're 28-25 right now. We've got Detroit, Orlando, and Brooklyn all away. Mm-hmm. Then that's the trade deadline. So 3 more games of maybe Dennis Schroeder, Josh Richardson, or so 3 games left till the trade deadline. And then we've got Denver and Atlanta. So that's Brooklyn, Denver, Atlanta, and Philly all in a row. Then we've got Detroit, and then the All-Star break. Then after All-Star break, we've only got 22 games left in the season. And if the season ended today, Boston would have to beat Atlanta and the loser of the Hornets and Raptors game to make the playoffs. Oof.
Yeah, that's not you definitely want to be that top, what is it, top 7? Top 6 seed?
6, man, because
you want to be top
basically
6?
How it works, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all playing. 7 and 8 play. Whoever wins that game is automatically the 7th seed, right? Well, whoever loses that game will then play the winner of the the 9-10 game, and whoever wins the 9-10 game will play the loser of the 7-8 game for the 8th seed.
Man. Do you know how bad it would be for the Celtics not even make the playoffs? That'd be sad. That'd be really, really sad to make the play-in and lose whether the first round or the second round. That'd be bad.
Those aren't easy wins. You got to beat Atlanta just to then play the Raptors or the Hornets? What?
That'd be rough. We're going to see how it goes. Because if you don't get a top 6 seed, you're in trouble. Not like last year when we had a favorable matchup against the Wizards. And then obviously it was a young Hornets team and a Pacers team that wasn't that good. This is a really, really good company. Hawks were in the ECF last year. Literally just last year.
Do you know who the 6th seed is?
Who is the 6th seed?
Brooklyn Nets. And they're starting to pull away too. Like there's a gap in between that. You know what I'm saying? Like where 6 is at, I think they're 3 games ahead. Not out of the round. Like it's like Brooklyn, then it's the Cavs, the Bucks, And then I know that the Sixers and then it's in the Bulls, and then you've got the Heat are the third seed. So you got the big four, and that's what I'm saying, bro. The Nets have literally dropped to 6. Maybe they're geniuses because remember I said home court disadvantage. If they kept the number 1 seed, then Kyrie could only play in 3 games. Maybe they're trying to lose so he can play in 4, and we're all the idiots. I don't know.
I like that. That's a pretty smart idea. Obviously, KD got hurt, Kyrie, and then James Harden out here scoring 4 points in 35 minutes. I mean, the Brooklyn Nets are down bad, down tremendous.
He's talking about wanting to go to Philly. There's rumors about him wanting to leave the Nets.
And keep your options open, but that's crazy to hear that just a year into it, I guess a year and a half into it, he's thinking about dipping already. But speaking of...
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. What's crazy?
I was going to say is it sounds like they're talking about him for Ben Simmons, which literally was how that all started. It all began with him, Harden and Simmons, but that at that time they said no. But now reports are the Sixers are not trying to trade Ben Simmons right now because they're going to try to use him in the offseason to get James Harden. I apologize. Sorry.
It's wild. Really quick. It's wild to think because I remember that trade was I think it was Harden, Simmons, and Maxey, and maybe at first. Now, I don't know if you're getting that. I don't know if they would. Nah, man. It's going to be wild. But speaking of all these great stars, we have to talk about the All-Star Game selections. Obviously, we missed last week when the starters were announced. Obviously, the biggest name people were confused about was Andrew Wiggins. He's played well, better than he has most of his career. Maybe his numbers aren't as amazing as it was in Minnesota, but he's on a winning team. Curry has been in a shooting slump, and he's been the reason why they've been winning most of those games, him and Jordan Poole. So out to Andrew Wiggins. However, the reserves were announced, was it yesterday? On Thursday, yeah, it was announced yesterday. Yep. The whole list. We have some snubs, and guess what? Everyone, obviously, people are going to be missing on the team. We're going to talk about who made the team, and obviously who didn't make the team. I have the list here, so I could announce. So starters really quick. Giannis, Curry, DeMar DeRozan, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, John Morant, Andrew Wiggins, and Trae Young. And here are the reserves. Devin Booker, Jimmy Butler, Luka Doncic, Darius Garland makes his first All-Star team. Rudy Gobert, I don't know why he still makes these damn things. I get he's good. Nobody wants to see this man play in the All-Star game. We got Draymond Green, who is not playing. James Harden, Zach LaVine, Chris Middleton, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, Jason Tatum makes it. That's like his third straight. Karl Anthony Towns, finally back in the All-Star game. And then Fred VanVleet makes his first All-Star team. I believe I saw this thing yesterday. He's the 4th player all time to be an undrafted player to make the All-Star team. So shout out to Fred VanVleet. That's pretty phenomenal.
Big ups.
But we have some snubs, obviously. I have a little poll in the chat. LaMelo didn't make it. DeJounte Murray didn't make it. Jaylen Brown, Domantas Sabonis, Nikola Vucevic. We can go on and on. Jared Allen. A lot of players did make the list. Who was the most surprising snub to you? Or who are you most shocked made the All-Star team in general?
First, shout out to you too, Rob. Or is it Ron Johnson? Much love, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, snubs. Now, first off, you got to remember with this health and safety year, we're already talking, and me and Bobby were talking earlier, KD and Draymond aren't going to be playing in this year. And the rumors are that it's going to be DeJounte and LaMelo that could be potentially replacing those two. But first off, Bobby, a few things that I think are interesting is where are the East centers? Where are the Eastern Conference big men? I mean, when you look at the East reserves, Tatum, Butler, LaVine, Garland, Harden, Middleton, and VanVleet. No love for Sabonis. Obviously, Bam was hurt. What about Time Lord? I mean, is there no bigs in the East? I mean, am I tripping, or is it just nothing but guards? But as far as I would say, snubs, man, Jaylen Brown, LaMelo, and DeJounte are my top 3 without question. Chris Middleton, I don't know how he gets in there over some of those guys. Rudy Gobert, I can understand your point, especially when you start talking about the fact that multiple Karl Anthony Towns. Guys, the reason Wiggins got in as a starter was because if you look at the front court and the guards brackets, the breakdown, the only people he was competing against were Draymond, who's injured, PG3, who's injured, Karl Anthony Towns, who's a center, Rudy Gobert, who's a center, DeAndre Ayton, who's a center. It's all of the Lukas and Bookers and CP3s, they were all in a different category. So to me, that was some of the most disappointment. It's just how the selection was. And then snubs, LaMelo, JB, and DeJounte Murray. What do you think, Bobby?
I would definitely say LaMelo is probably my snub because I don't know if you saw this. It was a couple of days ago. maybe a Monday this week,
when he
where there
killed
was
the
this,
Boston Celtics. Yeah, I seen it.
it might have been that. It might have been the day before. I believe it was a Charlotte Hornets Twitter page that posted a congratulations to LaMelo Ball for making the All-Star team. And everyone's saying,
Ooh.
oh, this is leaked. Shout out to LaMelo. And then he didn't make the All-Star team. So
no one from Charlotte did.
No one made it. Miles Bridges didn't get on the team. So it's like, what was that leak? Because obviously that was the official Twitter page, maybe it was Instagram page that posted it. I don't know what the hell going on, but I would say LaMelo, he was 19-7-7. Chris Middleton's was 17-5-3. Now I get it. Chris,
his third year now.
His second year. I believe it's the second. Yeah, I believe it's second year. So it's an interesting thing. Again, Chris Middleton's a good player. No one's saying he's not good. It's a weird selection over LaMelo when he has better stats, and I would say LaMelo's more important to his team than Chris Middleton.
Without question.
Not that Chris Middleton's not important, but Giannis is just a boy. Drew Holiday's on the squad. Miles Bridges is solid. Kelly Oubre is good. LaMelo makes that team roll 100%.
He is phenomenal. He is absolute. He's a superstar already, man. Just watching him, he's like the way he moves. He's 6'8". Just his fluidity with the ball. I mean, I want the Celtics, honest to God, to sign LiAngelo Ball, because it's going to be one of those things where all the Ball brothers are going to want to play together, and whichever team has the worst of the three, their other two good ones are going to go join him, because Lonzo and LaMelo can play wherever they want. I mean, I'm joking, but no, LaMelo, Lonzo, those Ball brothers those are some serious ball players, man. They're legit.
100%. And I saw someone saying Andrew Wiggins got in because of K-pop and get rid of fan voting. I want people to understand this really quick. Short fan voting gets some funny results sometimes. People realize that's only 50% of the vote, correct? The media gets 25 and the players get 25. Yep. So Andrew Wiggins got his spot and he earned his spot. Fans voted him in and so did the media and the players got him. So we used to see in the time, a whole literal country was voting for Zaza Pachulia during the All-Star team. He never made it. If a whole country of people vote for someone but the media and players say no, more often than not, he's not going to make the All-Star team, especially not a starter. The
Same
player
thing,
that's
Clay would have made it if that was the case.
Yes.
Klay Thompson, they were trying hard to get him in.
Klay Thompson, who played like 9 games by that point, was not going to make the All-Star team. Most surprising one, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, forgive me, Bobby, another one they mentioned as a replacement, Anthony Davis. I've heard his name circulating as well.
80's missed a lot of time, and I get LeBron. LeBron's missed a lot of time too, but obviously he got the most votes, and he will play in the game. I know KD's not going to play in the game. I think the most surprising one for me will be Chris Middleton. Shout out to Van Fleet. I like that. Darius Garland, shout out to Homeboy. The All-Star game is in Cleveland. The Cleveland Cavaliers are playing really well basketball. Yes, one of them have to get in, Jarrett or him, and Garland, I'm cool with that.
He's awesome.
I'm not a fan of Gobert because it's just, he's not going to play much anyway. He's going to play 5 minutes. No one is going to challenge him. He's going to try super hard.
How long has Draymond been out? Hasn't Draymond been out for a while now too?
I think he has like a pinched nerve. I see him because shout out to him. He got the TNT job, but he's been hurt for a while now. So he's gone.
Interesting. Like, I don't know.
So the people that so far were missing is obviously KD and Draymond are not going to be in the All-Star game.
We know that.
I would see Murray getting green spot, and then I would hope. And again, shout out to Jaylen Brown, who's averaging like 23, 24 points a game.
Yeah.
LaMelo's probably going to get in. I don't know how they're going to do it, whether it's the coaches. I know the coaches vote for the reserves. I guess LaMelo will probably get the nod. Who else misses the game? I'm trying to think if anyone else is injured here, but
man, you got to think both DeRozan and Levine both just came back. Harden, I believe, you might know better. What's up with him in fantasy? Is he out?
Harden came back a couple days ago. That's when he scored 4 points in a game.
Okay, so, I mean, the point is, though, even though they're back, you kind of see, man, it's circulating. I guarantee, that's what, 7 more games from now? We've got 2 confirmed, guaranteed at least 1, if not 2 more of these people will not be playing just based on health and safety. Guaranteed.
Honestly, because I think that day, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember who missed it, but there was someone who got I can't remember what the word is called, but he got COVID the day of the All-Star game. It might have been Chris Paul last year's game. It was Trae Young. That's what it was. Now I remember. It was Trae Young got COVID that morning of the All-Star game and had to miss the game. And they flowed in someone who was like in town or something like that. Absolutely crazy. But won't be shocked if Chris Paul bows out and doesn't play. And don't be shocked if Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler for some reason does not play in All-Star games. There was one where he got in, played 5 seconds, and then sat back down. So for some reason, Jimmy Butler is not a fan of All-Star games. Maybe see him step out allow some other younger player like Jaylen Brown
I see
to get in.
LaMelo. I end up thinking that when it's all said and done, LaMelo, Jaylen Brown, and DeJounte Murray, those three will be in the All-Star game. Yeah, I honestly do. Anthony Davis maybe as a fourth, but LaMelo, DeJounte, JB will be in the All-Star game.
Now, we 100%. What we want to do is give the NBA some time, give Adam Silver some time. Actually, I think Adam Silver replaces who gets in the All-Star. Yeah. So not the coaches. So the coaches' vote would have nothing to do with this. But I would see maybe JB does get over LaMelo. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one.
Comic behind you?
Yes, it is. Yes,
That's
it is.
Fire,
I got a little Christmas present. But
R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman.
R.I.P. to Homeboy, and hopefully I'm really excited for this movie coming out here pretty soon. Doctor Strange. Cannot wait for him. I'm actually going to movie theater tonight to see what's it called? Jackass Forever. I've never seen a Jackass movie ever in my life. I will see this one tonight. Hopefully it's good, and we'll see how it goes. But really quick, we will not react. We'll make our own list, vote as team captains. I might be LeBron, he might be KD, and we're going to pick these players out hopefully Monday. But we'll see if they announce these players by then. They probably won't. They'll probably wait till next week or so. But we'll see what happens, and we'll vote as the teams are constructed now. Should be pretty fun. Okay, there we go. I don't know if we have any other major topics of discussion here. I don't know if anyone in the chat has some more pending things they want to talk about, any questions or comments, concerns. If y'all want to bring up, we can talk about and discuss. I think Rob will, if he works on his offensive game, post moves, mid jumpers, etc. If Sabonis didn't get in, Rob Williams not going to get in, bro. I'm sorry. If Nikola Vucevic didn't get in, and also, I forgot about that. You brought up the big men. Someone had said this before, and he was like, well, it's only position based. No, it's not. You could have 15 point guards in the All-Star game if you wanted to on the team. It doesn't matter. The only thing that's position is the starters. After that, the reserves can be all guards or all centers. So the fact that no big men other than... No, that's it. I think Tatum was the only technical big man that made a list because he's a power forward, small forward, whatever you want to call him. No center. So that's rough. So, and again, no one likes seeing the... Shout out to Sabonis. Sabonis is a great player. Shout out to Vucevic. They're boring to watch, especially in the All-Star game. That's not their play style. Sabonis is going to do his little hook shots. Vucevic is going to do a little fadeaway. Rudy Gobert is going to, standing dunk, and that's it.
Mitch said it best. Shout out to you. What's up, Mitch? He said Gobert is the kind of guy who should be an All-Star, but is not meant for the All-Star game.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Fantastic, brilliantly said. That is an All-Star, which means he's like an All-NBA caliber player.
I was going to say that, yes.
Put him on an All-NBA team, but make his ass sit out the All-Star game. Brilliantly said, Mitch. Well said, bro.
And I know it's for money. People get their incentive by being an All-Star. I understand that. But he is that's just not his play style. The LaMelos, Chris Pauls, the Giannis's, all those PG-13s, those are the All-Stars you think about trying to score. So someone was saying Rob Williams for next season, the odds of Celtics getting 3 All-Stars is very slim to none. I can't remember the last time that happened. Man, it's been years. 3.
We actually had 4 when Rondo, I want to say it was in 2010. Somebody check that, but I believe it was 2009 or 10. The Celtics sent 4 All-Stars, Rondo and the big 3.
The Hawks sent 4 the year they had 60 wins, and because Kyle Korver got in for an injury.
Millsap, and Joe Johnson, right?
No, Johnson was gone by that point.
Oh, gotcha.
I can't remember the last time recently a team got 3. Oh, no, Warriors. Never mind. Klay Thompson, Curry, and Draymond got in. And KD. Yeah, that's the number. They had 4.
They had 4, Lord have mercy.
They had 4. But the Celtics aren't that team. The Celtics aren't going to get in 3. If Brown didn't make it this year, Rob Williams doesn't have a chance. I'm sorry. No chance.
To maybe answer the question, though, Rob is on a trajectory to being one of the best in the East, though. Within the next year or 2, I think that's fair to say, without question. So,
where would you rank him? Top 5 centers? I guess projection. I don't see him being... I don't have top 5 centers in mind in the East. Do you think he can better than Vucevic on the Chicago Bulls?
It depends on what you're saying. Like, he already is far and away blows him out the water defensively, but it's
offensively, Vucevic kills him as well.
You can't even compare them on that. So it depends on what do you want. Like, I think that Rob can develop a better offensive game. Like, if Rob Williams can develop any type of away from the basket offensive, I'm not even talking a 3 or a 20-footer. I'm just talking about any. Then if he could get up to 13 points, he's already a double-double, a 10 and 10, and he's, 2.5 block, 3 block a game, as good as it gets there. He's calmed down. He's switchable. He can block perimeter threes like it's nothing. Like his passing, his pick and roll, like Rob's he really is. He's getting a good feel for the game, man. And to think we got him with what, the 27th pick, it's insane. That's why I said, man, we getting Rob on only 11 million a season for the next 4 years is a home run steal.
Yeah, I would say I don't think it's close.
Miles Turner?
Man, Miles Turner offensively to me is just so much better. Defensively, I think they're close. I really do. I think they're close. But offensively, I think Miles Turner is just so much better. He can shoot the three. Rob's he can hit free throws.
So Turner is a 13-7 guy, but he's like a career 36 or 37 from 3 as a center, bro. Whereas
that just changed everything.
Yeah, and he actually leads the league in blocks. So, I mean, you already said it. So who are we talking on the East? You got Bam, no way. You've got obviously Joel Embiid, no way. And then you've got Vucevic, Miles Turner.
There's Jared Allen's of the world. There's,
oh my God, that's a good one. Over Jared Allen?
I think Jared Allen's better than Rob Williams. I'm being honest. I think offensively he's better too. He has better offensive game.
I love Rob Williams as much as anyone, guys. He's one of my favorite players in the world, but I think Jared Allen has earned that to be able to say he's an all-star snub.
Someone just said it. Clint Capella's really good. I think, man, that's tough.
Man, that's a good one.
Clint Capella I think Clint Capella's better than him. I don't know in a couple of years from now, but Clint Capella to me is better than him right now.
That's true.
So
Clint Capella, that's a great one. What a sleeper. Good shot.
We could truly, I think, shout out to
Mitch. Mitch is on fire, bro.
Shout out to Mitch. I could probably name 8 centers in the East better than Robert Williams. Probably 8. And this is without stats. This is without me Googling. I could probably name 8 guys better than him. So
but 2 to 3 years from now when Rob is 27, and I mean that you're talking, if this team is still together in 3 years when Rob's 27, Tatum's 26, Jaylen's 28, oh man. Ethanol, he's asking if the Celtics were to trade Rob, who would you want in return?
It's a tough question because the question is what do you think his worth is? I don't believe
it would have to be a big.
It would have to be a big. I don't know if Rob's worth is an all-star. That's not what his worth is. So I feel like if you're trading Robert Williams because he is included in a package, it is JB and Rob for Kawhi Leonard. It is 100%. Smart and Robert Williams for Sabonis. That's what you're doing. You're not trading Williams
Smart
for
and Rob. It's Smart and Rob. You just said it, bro. It's like, or maybe Richardson and Rob for. Yeah. I mean, any of those centers we just named. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns. If he ever said, "I want out," maybe that's it. Like you said, Rob would be attached to Sweeten.
Yes.
To take a deal to the next level.
Yeah. Allen is really helped by Garland's playmaking. Well, to be fair, that's any center for the most part. Yeah. That's helped by a center's playmaking. Other than Joel Embiid and really Vucevic, all the center and Sabonis as well. All those other guys need a good point guard to be around him. Same Rob Williams. He gets his lob by Marcus Smart. If Marcus Smart wasn't that passing mindset, I mean, Rob Williams would do nothing he doesn't do anything offensively. I'm being honest. He drives to the rim. He sets good screens. He doesn't do much offensively.
I say that. You're right, Mike. I'd like God in return too for Rob Williams. I say that too often, Bobby. I'm like, my fear of Rob is to turn into a Dre or a DeAndre Jordan. I don't want him to become just that pick and roll, No, I'm not. And there's nothing wrong with that. DeAndre was the man, but that kind of goes back to when I say about, developing a way to score. Like that's the difference between being a lob threat guy or going to that next level. And I want Rob to get to that next level.
I will say, while Rob Williams is a lot shorter than DeAndre's I think DeAndre's like 6'10", 6'10 and a half. DeAndre Jordan made the All-Star team as a set screen, dive to the rim, and play defense. Robert Williams is literally could be the exact same player. Yeah. Again, we don't have Chris Paul, no shot. But DeAndre made an All-Star team doing that and made his money doing that way. I could see that.
Rob's not far from DeAndre Jordan.
He's not 100%. He's not as athletic, no shot. But I could see that. That's to me. I wouldn't be mad at him being DeAndre Jordan. I don't expect Robert Williams to develop. His mid-range shot is just ugly to me. It's like a standstill set shot. It's just, to me, the form is terrible. He takes too long. Unless he has wide open time, he's never going to hit that shot. His shot doesn't look like he can hit a 3. His free throw shooting is tough. Offensively, for me, I don't have much potential. I see that. I don't know if you see it. I don't see potential in his offensive game.
Look, I mean, it's fair to say a lot of these centers, Andre Drummond or even, DeAndre Jordan, Rob's not that bad. He's nearly a 70% shooter. I mean, he won us that game the other night, hitting 4 big free throws. You know what I mean? 4 for 4. But it's just one of those things, man. We got to kind of see, what he can develop. He's only 24 years old, and this is his first year as a starter. This is his first year playing 30 minutes, and it's been everything we could want and more. So if this is, his development and, the steps he's going to continue to take, I'm all for it. Someone actually mentioning Jalen Brunson. That's the same thing, Sim, with Nothing But Knicks, man. Everyone is big on Jalen Brunson, man. He's saying, can we get Jalen, but keep smart. Is Brunson a free agent? He's a free agent this offseason?
I'm not positive on that. I'm not positive on that. I know they want to obviously keep going deeper with Luka being the main ball handler, but I'm not terribly mad on that. But there's probably no way you would trade Richardson. But Richardson was on Dallas a couple years ago. Yeah. I don't know if they would want to bring him back. Why would you keep Dennis over? Or why would you trade Dennis?
From Dallas.
Yeah, so it wouldn't make much sense to do that at all. But Brunson would be nice to have, but it wouldn't make sense. Unrealistic. Right. But I'm reading some of y'all comments. Definitely interesting stuff. Let's see here. It's worth and potential is not simply worth. Otherwise, you'll have a Westbrook on your hand. It's worth and potential, not simply worth.
Yeah, he's saying it's not just on their worth. You got to also take into consideration the potential behind somebody, and Rob's potential is through the roof.
I've always been iffy on this topic because, again, me and you are kind of on the opposite, spectrum here. And maybe we're not, but let me explain. You're more of the potential. I can see we might have something really good on our hands. I think a lot of fans, regardless of your team, feel that way. Like, you know what? This guy, Tatum could be the next best player in the world. Brown could be the next best two-way player in the world. I am more of what is and what do I see now. I see that there is Kawhi. I will trade a young player for a player that's already good now because they are good now. I don't have to hope or pray or train or develop. I'm not in that aspect. And guess what? People, I know, what was our guy's name? John Corrales actually was saying we're on the developmental league. It takes years to grow and grow. No, it doesn't. We've seen teams in both leagues, in the NFL and the NBA, say it's time to win now, and they do. The Rams traded all their stock and those young stars, the guys that could have a lot of potential for Stafford and Ramsey and getting Odell Beckham. And guess what? They're in the Super Bowl. We saw Bucks do it last year. We saw Giannis. We traded our draft picks and young players to go get Drew Holiday. And the year before, they traded all the young picks to go get Anthony Davis. I'm not with the potential. I'm with the what is and what isn't. Let's get players. Drags, where are you on that spectrum?
All right, so first, to kind of go in what you said, I think that a lot of fans, when you talk about overvaluing, I think that's just being a fan. Sometimes you'll look at one of your players and see the best in them, you know what I mean? Because as soon as they leave, it's like, the hell with that scrub, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter at that point. But I will say, I hear you, Bobby. And that's a live by the sword, die by the sword. I mean, that would make you a hell of a GM, but also it might get you fired. Like, that's the type of shit that makes you, go all in. And sometimes, you get Kawhi Leonard. Sometimes you get Russell Westbrook. It just kind of depends on who you go all in. Now, Bobby, you made great points in the past. And when you said Danny not getting Kawhi, Danny not getting Jimmy, you've got me agreeing with those now. Like, as I think back to how everything unfolded, and I just think, like, because at that time I wasn't. I wanted them to keep Brown. I wanted them based off of potential, and I wanted to keep everything together and don't trade Terry because he's going to re-sign. And then, of course, we end up losing half of these guys, and if we would have made that trade, we might have won a championship. We might still have Kyrie. We might, who knows? Like, I mean, but woulda, coulda, shoulda.
My teachers told me all the time when I didn't bring my homework to class, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But someone said the Rams can do that because of their market. No, not at all. Rams can barely sell out their own stadium. They're getting overtaken by other teams' fans. So no, they cannot. It's not because of their market. It's because of where they are. Same with Buccaneers. They literally were called the Succaneers for years. So no, it's because you bring in talent to come over. Same with all these other teams. Milwaukee's not a free agent destination either.
No,
they say we have a great player in Giannis. Let's go get him better players. Yeah. Same with the Celtics. We're not LA. We're not New York. Even though we have the cachet and the titles to say we are, we're just, let's be open our eyes. We're just not. We're not the New York Knicks. We're not the Heat. We're not the Lakers.
Location.
We're basically we're not better than the Bucks, to be honest. But we're like the Spurs. We're a class act organization that has history. That's who we are.
Not the best location to
We're
live.
not the
like,
yes.
There's so many other destinations you'd rather go.
And same with fans in the chat. I guarantee you, if you had a chance to live in New York or Miami or LA, you're not choosing Boston over those three. We're just got to be honest here. But I think the main point is we have seen time and time again of seeing great talent come in, and maybe that potential turns in to be great. Randall turned into be an all-star. B.I. was an all-star. Josh Hart's a good player. Lonzo developed to a great player. The Lakers won a championship. They will never care. Raptors brought all their young places, trade him away. DeRozan, who's a great player, had another 5 years, All-NBA player this year.
Look at him now.
Look at him now. But guess what? They won a title that year. They will never cry and care about it again. I feel like we need to think that light.
Kawhi.
And they lost Kawhi.
But
Pascal is not even the same player anymore. But guess what? They have Van Fleet, and they have some Scotty Barnes and all those great young players. Who cares? We won our title. Get riddance. I don't know. That's my thing. Any other more comments here? They don't have to sell out their games. It's a desired destination by talent players, though. Okay, we can't call a team a big market when, number one, they just got there.
Oh, man, Foster, that's a good one. Look at Memphis. True that.
Memphis is a great example. They went and got Steven Adams to trade for him, and they've been a great team. To be fair, they developed a lot of their great talent. Desmond Bane,
one of them boys, they're kind of like Golden State, man.
Yeah.
Like, Ja, Desmond Bane,
they developed really well.
Jaren Jackson.
But to be fair, Memphis was not on that perk. Do we believe John Morant's better than Tatum? Probably not. Is Ja better than Brown? Maybe a little bit. But I don't think anyone thought they didn't have Tatum and Brown. They also didn't have Kemba or Kyrie or Isaiah Thomas. They weren't having those expectations of winning a title or being in the NBA Finals. They were competing to see, hey, could these guys make the playoffs? That's their goal. So there's two different expectation groups with them. Hey, shout out to the Grizzlies, though. Grizzlies playing amazing. But they're a story just being in the playoff hunt. So
knowing the Celtics could have had Bane still hurts.
Yeah, that's rough.
Guys, I actually just did a dive on Jag's channel, on my channel, into the Miami Heat. Did y'all also know the other night the guy Max Strus, who lit us up 9 3-pointers? Do you know his first team he ever played for the NBA? It was actually the Boston Celtics. We cut him when he played for us as a rookie. So Max Strus, who's a 40% 3-point shooter, Desmond Bane, didn't Matisse Thybulle, wasn't he another one? Didn't we have him and then trade him to Philly? What happened about that?
The Bane and Thybulle one, yes, while they're true, they're not true because we traded the pick before they drafted them. So it says Celtics, but we didn't draft them.
Correct. Yeah, Memphis technically made the pick. We might not have picked Bane.
Yes, so we probably would have picked some other scrub like we always do. So that's who we usually do. We drafted Grant Williams over Brandon Clarkson, and we do that on and on again. That's just who we are.
Dude, I was just looking at the Aaron Nesmith draft, and because it was obviously like Tyrese Halliburton that went 2 picks before him.
That one hurts.
Bro,
that one hurts.
You want to know what else hurt? How about Tyrese Maxey going the 20th pick? Oh my goodness. And then Sadiq Bey and guys like that were back there too.
We cut him for Green. You know what's funny? That's when I first started really diving into the Celtics. I started making these. Whenever the Celtics signed someone in the summertime, that summer when Strauss was a rookie, we had signed this dude named Green, Javante Green from overseas. We signed this other couple cool players. I was making reaction videos of those guys because we'd never heard of them. I was like, yo, this guy's a good shooter.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we cut him. It was a funny ass video, and obviously Strauss could shoot. Man, to see that other players develop other places and they're just better. I don't know. Javante Green was literally starting for the Bulls, and he could barely get playtime for us. I don't know what that means. Dude, but something's down bad here.
You see Juancho in San Antonio?
I didn't. What happened?
Juancho's playing 25 minutes a game in San Antonio.
That's kind of crazy. Hey, I guarantee you trade Grant Williams, but next thing you know, he's going to turn into Draymond Green again. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Mercy. I'm waiting for a Juancho 20-piece any night now.
Is that it for y'all? I think that's it. I think we see a couple more comments, but I want to trade Mitchell and bring back Rose from the Hornets. Rosie. I don't even know who Rosie is.
Terry Rozier.
Oh, Rozier. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't do that, though. I'm not a fan of bringing back old players to the team that played for. I wasn't a big fan of Al Horford coming back. I'm not with that sentimental value stuff. I don't know. That's just me.
Yeah, an X is an X for a reason, Bobby.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that aspect. Gary Washburn said it best the other day. The failure to develop players once the Celtics bring them in has put them in the situation today. No, they could have kept Kyrie Irving happy, traded Jason Tatum for Anthony Davis, and we would have had Kyrie Irving, AD, and probably Jaylen Brown still on the team. At worst case, it could have been Kyrie, AD and Terry Rozier are still on the team. So I'm sorry. That's what pushed us to where the situation we are today. We could have traded for Anthony Davis. We chose not to.
That Gordon Hayward injury, guys. Without
that was
that
also
injury,
rough.
Lord have mercy. If we could go back in time and tell him not to jump, who knows where today we'd been. Oh, man.
I mean, to be fair, I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. If Gordon Hayward didn't get hurt, does Brown get the love that he got in the minutes? Probably not.
No way.
Does Tatum get the shine he gets if Gordon Hayward doesn't get hurt? Probably not.
So Tatum actually, he was pulling out another niche because remember when his rookie year, a good portion of the year, he led the league in 3-point percentage.
He did.
He was like, and he was averaging like 13 and 7. So he carved out a decent little role. I don't think he would have blossomed into the superstar, but at the same time, Gordon Hayward might have went on to go to 4 or 5 more straight All-Star games. He was an All-Star forward coming from the West who just averaged like 25, 6, and 5 in his prime at like 26, 27. It really is a sad story, but I mean, then again, he's still getting paid $30 million. He'll be all right.
Shout out to Gordon Hayward. I agree with you, Smooth, but Wick is cheap. So developing players, he's definitely cheap. It has to be a part of your plans long term. Well, hey, that's why the Celtics have been in 2 NBA Finals in the last 30 years. We've won 1 title in 30 years. And we're seeing teams like the Bucks and the Lakers and the Clippers be competitive. And we've seen the Raptors win, and that's what we see.
And that one win, what did they do, Bobby? They traded.
Oh, they traded for actual good players, yeah.
They sent out all their Al Jeffersons, who were young, really.
Oh, the young, great players. You could be a best center.
Brought in the Kevin Garnett and Ray Allens of the world, and James Posey and Tony Allen and Eddie House, and won a title.
So I will always sit on that fence. I'll sit on my little soapbox forever till I die. It's better to bring in free agents and trade for players than to develop and hope for potential. Sure, you can get Golden State, but also it can never work out and you trade your players anyway. Like the Washington Wizards with Bradley Beal and John Wall and Otto Porter all on your team, and they went nowhere past the second round. Or you could be Golden State and win a title or two, and they went and trade for players too.
Depends on how long, guys. It's like, I mean, you're talking about guys like Ja is only in his 2nd or 3rd year. We knew pretty quickly he was the man. Desmond Bane's a rookie. We know his potential. Tyler Hero, we know. It's like the Celtics have been developing the guys 3 to 4 years, and we still don't know. It's like that might be their problem. A lot of these teams we're talking about are developing guys, but they know within a year or two their potential, and they kind of, continue on that path with them. Meanwhile, are we wasting time with these guys? Like that's kind of where you got to also think of it. Like, how long do you really got to develop a guy?
That is facts, and we'll end with this. I've never been a guy that wants to develop for too long. I think 3 years is fair. But a guy that's a specialist, you do not need 3 years to see if the man's good or not. True. People are like, give Aaron Nesmith more time. He's a rookie. He's a 2nd-year player. Bro, you were brought here to shoot the ball. If you can't shoot the ball, I'm sorry, you're gone. It is simple as that. If you're brought here to defend the rim and you can't block a shot, what do you mean develop? There's no time to develop. Guys like your young guards like Darius Garland, give him some time, and obviously knock on wood for Colin Sexton. He got hurt, and Garland's better than they thought. They might trade Colin Sexton now, honestly. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Certain skill sets translate a lot quicker, and guys that shoot are, those skills are supposed to translate a little bit quicker.
100%. Well, and with that, I appreciate all y'all 3 to 4 years. Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see some clips of this podcast probably throughout the week. You'll see some cool episodes. Hopefully, I can post some of these on TikTok as well. TikTok is Celtics Corner on TikTok. Obviously, no videos yet, but subscribe to TikTok as well. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Shout out to 200 subscribers here in a little more than 2 weeks. That's an insane phenomenon. I appreciate that. Subscribe to Jag's channel. Subscribe to B Smooth's channel. That's pretty much it, Jags. Any closing things you got to say on this beautiful Friday afternoon?
Always good to see you, Bobby. Excellent job. Awesome to bring back Trust the Podcast, guys. Yes. Thank you so much for your time. This was the first time running it on Celtics Corner, and Celtics Corner has been a blast. Again, if anyone is interested, get with me, get with Bobby. Hit Bobby up, let him know. We've talked about, I know it might be a little overwhelmed to think about doing your own show or doing a podcast. Like, just come and hop on a segment with me and him during one of these streams, Trust the Podcast. Come hop on for 15 minutes, see how it goes, and let's go from there. Just reach out to Bobby, and otherwise, thank you all so much for the love and support. We appreciate it more than you know. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, 100%. And appreciate him saying that real quick. There was someone, I think you sent me a story that someone actually changed their YouTube name to Celtics Corner. That's not what we meant, big fella. We wanted people to hop on literally and make videos and upload them on this Celtics Corner.
Right here,
so
guys.
You're helping us collaborate more content for this channel. So that'd be the goal. So you record your content on your phone, or you buy a $20 webcam that's pretty decent quality, upload it, send it to us, or you could upload it yourself, and we could go from there. So if you guys want to create content, hit me up on Twitter at RealBeastSmooth. Again, you can find my Twitter pretty easy right there.
If money's tight or if it's something like that, hit us up. I'll send you. We'll work with you, man. So I speak as highly as it gets about Bobby and his credibility and just who he is as a man. So hit us up, guys. I mean, we'll go from there. We'll work with you. So it's all love over here. Seriously.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Hopefully these clips will be ready, girl. I was recording most of this. That's beautiful. All right, we are out of here, y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through.
Take care, guys.
We'll be back hopefully Monday with the All-Star Draft game we'll be playing. Hopefully. We'll see what goes on. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Take care, guys.